Welcome to Arcade Audio.
And germs, welcome to Dilettante Ball. I'm Johnny.
I'm Spencer.
Here on Dilettante Ball, we go on Wikipedia.
We click random article.
And we talk about it.
Yeah, we do. Johnny,
Yes.
I got good news for you.
Okay.
You can save a bunch of money by switching to Geico.
Do you remember the Caveman show based on the Geico commercials?
How many episodes did that have?
Too many.
Did it have more than one?
Someone very famous was on that.
No.
Yes. We're not in the thing, so I'm going to look it up because I...
Okay, you do that, but I've actually got a 5-star iTunes review for you.
Okay. Well...
What, do you have it right now? Do you have the cast list of the Caveman show? What was it even called?
Cavemen.
Oh, boy. I mean, Geico was running pretty hot for a minute.
That hot?
That's the thing, though, is they got real, up their own butts about themselves.
Maybe no one... I could have sworn Fred Savage was in one episode. It looks like there were 4 episodes. Oh, here's the very famous man who was on this show. The very famous man. Oh, that was Fred Savage directed an episode.
Oh, okay. Much better.
Nick Kroll. And Nick Swardson.
Wow.
But Nick Kroll is like...
So Nick Kroll...
He's like a dude, you know? He's like...
That was like his entry into Kroll show. He did the Caveman show first. He really cut his teeth on the Caveman show.
That's a thing. There was another show that came out around the same time, and it was like Fox was pushing it real hard. It was like written by the writers of The Simpsons, and it was about a family who was like very unlucky, and it was called like the Misfortunates or something like that. And it was like, I'm Daniel Misfortunate. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, thank God, no.
That was a very bad show.
Was the Caveman show about car insurance?
No.
It was just about those cavemen in modern times.
Mm-hmm.
And were they dummies?
No, I think they were just like dudes who...
But the whole premise was so easy, even a caveman could do it.
I think that they took some creative liberties with the show and just had, like sort of an unfrozen caveman lawyer scenario.
Their narrative arc over the series of commercials ended up being that they're not even dumb, but people keep saying they're dumb just because they're cavemen.
Probably.
It was like profiling. So maybe Geico's trying to teach us something about ourselves. Johnny, I have a 5-star review for you.
Okay.
This is by
5-star review for Cavemen.
Yeah, this is for Cavemen.
Starring Nick Kroll of Kroll Show. and fucking Oh Hello.
Yeah.
Smash Broadway sensation Oh Hello.
And didn't he marry someone who's also like
he was dating Amy Poehler for like a minute.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. This is by King Bobson.
Oh, I know who this is.
Oh, for real?
This is remember how I told you a friend started listening and he's from North Dakota?
Oh, yeah, he's not very happy about us.
Well, that's fine. We'll see what he brings here.
The review, it's a 5-star review, and actually the title is asterisk generally delightful. I believe that the asterisk implies he was giving us 6 stars. That's how I'm going to interpret that.
I will allow that.
Here's the review. Love the podcast. Despite some ignorant and wrong-headed beliefs about the fair state of North Dakota, these silly gentlemen are a delight, whether they are talking about random articles or wandering down rabbit holes. Check it out. That's just a real punchy.
Yeah.
Here's what I like.
Here's what I'm wrong about, and here's how great this podcast is.
And hey, don't take my word for it. Check it out.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
That's lovely.
I mean, it's nice that you know somebody from North Dakota.
I guess.
Well, I mean, until then, I guess we still can't even prove that it's a real place, but
sure,
we're one step closer.
Just while we're doing the thing, the show was called The Pits. It was an American sitcom.
This is The Misfortunates.
Yes, that aired on Fox between March and April.
That's it.
2003.
Early March and late March.
Starring...
This is 2003, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Starring the one, the only, the very famous Lizzie Kaplan.
I was really hoping you would say Nick Kroll again.
That would
this
be
time for sure.
All time.
Lizzie Kaplan. She's a person.
She's a pretty famous person.
Is she more famous than I give her credit for?
I think so.
I know her from that Tina Fey movie whose name escapes me.
Tina Fey. You just said her name.
Mean Girls.
Oh, sure. No, she's like pretty famous.
Okay. And it all got started on The Misfortunates?
The Misfortunates. Yep.
What was the damn title?
The Pits.
The Pits. That sucks.
Yes, it does. I don't think that we broke a rule by looking those two things up because it was before we were not looking up anything related.
No, we haven't initiated the octagon.
It's nice to have ground rules.
Yeah, really. Yeah, you need to know what you're getting into.
You ready
I am ready
to step into the octagon? Is that what you said?
That's what I said, but I think we need to workshop that because I believe someone has a trademark on that.
I mean, stepping into the Dilettante ballroom. Get on your dancing shoes because you're about to enter the Dilettante ballroom. Oh wow. You know, this is not something that I'm like I don't know. I know almost nothing about this, but I think that it is very much in my wheelhouse.
Okay.
President Evil.
Hold on. There's a lot to unpack with that one. Now, is this related at all to Resident Evil? Is President Evil a real person?
Again, I don't know much about this specific property, but at first blush, I think it is just a play on words.
Okay.
So no.
So no.
There is no Umbrella Corp as far as I am aware in this property.
All right.
And right up at the top, this is an article about this thing, which I will reveal in a moment. For the episode of Robot Chicken, see Robot Chicken Season 3.
So this is not Robot Chicken.
Not to be confused with Resident Evil.
So there goes that right off the gate. Right off the bat. Out the gate.
President Evil is the 5th episode of the 3rd season of the American mystery television series Veronica Mars.
Okay.
And the 49th episode overall. Written by Jonathan Moskin and David Moulet. And directed by Nick Mark. The episode premiered on the CW on October 31st, 2006. I feel very much like I would get very into Veronica Mars.
What's the new Netflix series that's Veronica Mars also?
Is there a new Netflix series that is Veronica Mars?
It's not Veronica Mars, but am I mistaken? Am I thinking of Alias? I think I'm thinking of Alias.
Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones. I believe Jessica Jones is a character in Alias.
Is that true?
No, I just believe it. I'm not sure if it's true or not.
I don't think that Alias has anything to do with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Other than maybe J.J. Abrams is involved in both.
Because the thing with Jessica Jones is she doesn't even... What's her superpower again?
Deduction? I don't know.
I think her superpower is deduction.
I'm so like checked out of all superheroes.
That one you might like. But maybe she can like... she can maybe jump and fall very well and not get injured.
I did not realize that she was a superhero at all. I thought it was just kind of a detective show that happened around superheroes.
Well, basically. Like her superpower, I think, is she just doesn't die when she jumps off of buildings.
That's a pretty solid superpower.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna live in New York, that's a good one to have, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I need to catch my cab. Bye.
My lift is here, and the elevator isn't.
Which is very confusing for English people.
Fuck.
Yeah, whatever.
No, there's something there.
My lift is here, and the lift isn't. I don't know.
Do you think that lift is called something different in England so that they don't think that they're hailing a bunch of elevators, great glass elevators that can go up, down, left, right?
It is called something different.
Lorry. That's just a truck, though.
Yeah, that really is.
That's what Dolly is called there. Lorry.
The sheep that they cloned?
Mm-hmm.
Why they name it? They changed from Dolly to Lori?
No, Dolly.
They're both female names.
Man, what do they call cars? They just call them cars, huh?
I think they call them boots, right? The whole car.
They call them cars too.
Mater's Revenge.
Is that why we're where we are today?
What?
Larry the Cable Guy.
You mean you and I specifically?
The world,
with our comedy platform?
The country.
Because of Larry the Cable Guy.
Yeah.
In a manner of speaking, I would say yes.
I think he was creating sleeper cells, basically.
Here's my evidence to back it up with he's not even that guy. That's a character.
He's Dan Whitney.
He's Dan Whitney, the normal human being who doesn't have a southern accent any more than you or I.
Isn't that weird? We were just talking about Pee Wee Herman last episode.
It's the same thing. I was gonna say he's he's no more. Dan Whitney is no more Larry the Cable Guy than
Paul Rubens is Pee Wee Herman. Dan Whitney is no more he's no more Pee Wee Herman than he is Larry the Cable Guy, you know?
Yeah, right. Either one is a very thin veil that he's just wearing. And my point is, everyone got duped. Or not everyone, but everyone sure, but like
I got got
for a while.
When he was on JRR.
Right, WJRR 101.1.
And he was just Larry the Cable Guy, right after
Bubba the Love Sponge.
Taco Bob, Pat Lynch and Taco Bob.
Yeah.
That was very strange to like be aware of Larry the Cable Guy as a very local radio personality,
right? And
then all of a sudden he's
exploded.
I know someone who is like cousins with Larry the Cable Guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What do they have to say about Mr. Whitney? Or don't they?
I mean, I haven't talked to them in years.
Well, time to renew that friendship because I got to get me a Larry the Cable Guy autograph.
Yeah, that's so. Have you seen like footage of him doing stand up as Dan Whitney?
Yeah, and granted, it's from a long time ago, so like the material's not even that great, So it's not because he's not doing Larry the Cable Guy. Mm-hmm. But I would like to see his redneck style.
Do you think he has anything now? Do you think he ever goes?
There'd be no use. Well, interesting.
Like he just goes to some club, like shaves his goatee, puts on like a blazer.
You'd never recognize him.
I don't think you would.
No, I wouldn't. I mean, literally, yeah. If he just wore a shirt with sleeves, took his hat off, and shaved his goatee, no way. I'd
or even just grew the rest of it out.
Sure, yeah. Never in a million years.
That's kind of a bummer, though. That's like the ultimate. Like does he just live his life as Larry the Cable Guy?
Oh, like with no consequences for being Larry the Cable Guy?
Well, what I mean is like if he's just going out to dinner with his wife or whatever. Is he Dan Whitney?
Oh, or yeah, and then he can just like turn it on at the drop of a hat.
And would people recognize him? That must be really nice if he just
to have that
lives his normal life as Dan Whitney.
Right. Yeah, I guess it depends. I think about that a lot with luchadors who wear masks and specifically keep their identity secrets. It's like, because you couldn't just go out to like a spaghetti dinner and be like, man, it'd be cool if someone came up and said hi.
Yeah.
Because like your character is super duper famous, but then like you are just some dude.
Yeah, that's weird. Does he have a goatee all the time? Like.
Well, it's whatever's hot at the moment, right? For that crowd.
Well, I mean, the goatee is his thing, but like just when he's going out to dinner, when he's going to Olive Garden with Larry out of the Cable Guy, is.
Well, why would he shave it?
So that people don't recognize him. So he doesn't have to have a stupid fucking goatee.
Number one, sure. Yeah, I mean,
like if he's not touring,
and
has no reason to be Larry the Cable Guy, does he just?
I guess it depends on how much he wants the recognition. I guess, right?
I want someone to interview him as Dan Whitney,
sure.
And I want to find these things out.
What if we had Dan Whitney interview Larry the Cable Guy and vice versa? Had like a little series. Because Mick Foley did that once with himself because he played 3 different characters on WWF. And so one of them interviewed another one. It's pretty revolutionary technology at the time. I mean, it wasn't, but Wishbone did the same thing with Prince and the Pauper.
Weird Al used to do the thing where he would interview people, but he would just use other interviews.
I remember seeing that. I remember, yeah.
He did one with Eminem and one with
that's what I was thinking of.
Avril Lavigne.
Yeah, and so it made him see made it seem like he was interviewing them.
Yeah, and
but it was always a 2-shot. It was never,
and that they were giving like very weird.
Yeah, he'd be like, "Well, that's weird." Yeah, like I remember the day when I realized it wasn't real.
Oh no!
Well, no, just because it was like I finally figured it out.
The day the music died.
Well, I'd watched this series of interviews, like it was like Behind the Music Weird Al or something like that.
Sure.
And I just watched it like every day that week. And after my 3rd or 4th time viewing it, I finally was like paying attention enough to be like, oh, wait a minute, this is crazy.
Yeah. The one question that I remember, and I don't remember whether he asked Eminem or Avril Lavigne, but he was like, "How do you feel about butterscotch enemas?" Which is such a like fucking Weird Al thing to say. And the answer was just something like, "Oh, sometimes they're great." And it just cuts back to me. He's like, "Okay," like barely even a joke,
right? Really, yeah.
But it's still so very good.
You know what's weird is the opposite of that, and this is. It took me much longer to figure this out. Is Space Ghost Coast to Coast? That's like a real interview, or you know what I mean, or like the person on the TV is aware of what's happening.
Sure. I never watched much Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
Well, it's in a similar sort of vein where it's like a bizarre. It's barely an interview.
Well, the same thing with like the Daily Show. You know, it's like,
well, yeah,
they I don't know how heavy the editing is, but they certainly set them up to look dumb.
Right. Well, there's nothing to be set up with Space Ghost. It's just like it's just a ridiculous. It's just insane. It'd be like if you just I can't even describe it. Like they just talk about nothing. Like no agenda gets pushed. Nothing happens.
Like Craig Ferguson.
Yeah, kind of like Craig Ferguson. Yeah, if the what's his name, like the robot skeleton.
I barely.
But you know what I'm talking about though.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah.
If he was the interviewer, that's what Space Ghost is like.
Okay.
Where it's like, what is happening? Like it's so many steps removed from being a legitimate.
That was a fun thing that Cartoon Network did for a while. Was just taking like weird old properties and like recontextualizing them.
Yes.
Like Harvey Birdman. Attorney at Law,
hosted or voiced by Steve Colbert.
Steve Colbert. And then like C-Lab 2020.
Yeah, 2021.
2021. That's it.
Yeah, I mean the Brack Show starring Brack, which I don't even think Brack was like a real villain from Space Ghost or Birdman or whatever it was. I think it was just like maybe like one or two off villain, and like screw it, he's a dude now.
Were there any others?
Oh, probably. Yeah, probably. Okay. There was one about, yeah, I mean, there were. I just have flashes in my head of like, yeah, there were a lot, but nope, couldn't tell you. That whole channel was really weird for a time.
Yeah.
I guess it still kind of is with Adult Swim. They sort of like.
I don't think it's as. Weird humor has gotten different.
Yeah.
Tim and Eric is like weird humor now, which I love Tim and Eric very much. But back then it was like Aqua Teen, which I was very into, and I'm very afraid to know if it holds up, and I don't think it probably does.
It probably doesn't, but also every episode is like 12 minutes long, so whatever.
And then eventually, I don't know if you knew this, but eventually Aqua Teen Hunger Force every season just changed the name of the show.
No, I didn't know that.
So like the next 1 year it was like Aqua Unit Patrol Squad 1, and that year Queens of the Stone Age did the theme song, which was pretty cool.
No, I didn't know any of that.
Oh man, speaking of Queens of the Stone Age, when this episode airs, I will have just gotten back from seeing them in Milwaukee.
Oh, how were they?
They were so fucking good, and that makes me extra pumped to see them here in Chicago in December.
For real?
Yeah.
Damn, dude. That's pretty fly.
They're so fucking good. And I think I was telling you this the other day. Their new album rules. Their new album is so good. They're so fucking good. The concert was great.
I had a friend that told me that no one says dog, like when referring to their friends. Is that true? Are we crazy? Because like everyone I know says dog.
I don't think so, but also
because I just said someone was fly, and I didn't even bat an eye when I said it, and I like have never described something as fly.
I don't know. I feel like the way that we talk is such a
bizarre,
such a nightmare.
Of, yeah.
And I blame our friend Steve Clark for a lot of it because he said
for opening the gates to.
He said some weird stuff.
Yeah, he described somebody as
that old smokestack.
That old smokestack.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I hear people call people dog. You know,
tons all the time.
Fellow podcasters,
certainly.
Seth Romatelli and Griffin McElroy, both call people dog.
Well, here's the thing about what you just said.
Yes, we're all equally famous podcasters,
and that goes without saying. But I know for a fact that the McElroys listen to "Oh Yeah, Dude," of which is where Seth Romatelli's from.
I know,
and we listen to "Oh Yeah, Dude." Is it possible that we just picked it up from like Jonathan Larroquette and Seth, and
they were the Geneseth?
I would say that. You know what I mean? Like maybe we're all just listening to the same old fucking,
dude,
burned out LA. Yeah, dude.
It's very possible, but I don't know. I feel like a lot of the stuff I say is like weird, outdated.
Yeah,
like
I definitely cribbed a lot of my that's a weird word. A lot of my stuff from my sister, or like the memory of my sister from like 1992, because we lived in South Florida, and she had like a lot of like South Florida early 90s specific slang. Like calling shit raw.
You do say that a lot.
Yeah. The other day in a show, or like before a show, I asked someone to give me dap, and like the audience laughed at me because they didn't know what the fuck dap was.
What? I don't think people are still giving dap, but I know what it is.
I think that's all I'm asking for at this
In fact,
point.
I'm certain that no one is giving dap anymore.
Dude, I'm giving dap all the time, my dude.
Is this a thing? Dapper Dan? But like, you know.
But he looks like Tupac or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's not a thing.
I'll workshop it and get back to you.
Okay.
I feel like there's something there. But maybe I'm not the right person to bring it to the people, you know? But hey, that's free. That's free to use. If someone out there is, that's free.
That's it's on us.
That's a freebie, yeah. Dapper Dan. There's something there.
Maybe if that would have been like during the late 80s like rap boom where like everyone's getting in on the action.
Dapper Dan is a good rap name.
That's what I'm saying.
Fuck, that's a real good rap. And he would just dress like really, like real sharp.
Okay.
Just like real sharp suits.
Now, would he be wearing like 50s kind of suits or would he be like 80s kind of like?
I think it would be what people in the 80s thought the 50s looked like, you know? Like it'd be too big for sure.
Oh, sure. Sort of like up against the fence of like almost a zoot suit.
Yeah.
It's like a little too Dick Tracy.
Yeah. It would be very Dick Tracy.
Okay. So sort of like a Dick Tracy look. And his name is Dapper Dan.
Man, that is
You're
so
kind of selling me on Dapper
cool.
Dan.
Fuck, that's awesome.
Does he have anything or is he just...
What does he need?
Yeah, what does he need? Really,
Certainly
I
has
guess.
a hat.
Well, I mean, that goes without saying.
A pocket watch with a chain.
Yeah, I like that. What's his skill set? He's always sort of swinging it around.
He always has a handkerchief if anyone needs one.
You're sure. But can he rap? Can he sing?
Oh, obviously he can rap and he can sing. He's got the voice of an angel and the flow of a demon.
Smell you later. Do we know that he put the screw in the tuna until the very end?
Mm-mm.
That's very funny.
Thank you for playing Arcade Audio. Play more at arcadeaudio.net.